Welcome back to Conversations with Nicole. Right now I have with me Mr. Royle King, the founder of the Omega Lamplighters. Welcome, Royle.
Thank you.
So, Royle, tell me, what are the Omega Lamplighters and what do they do?
Well, to be as brief as possible, the Omega Lamplighters is a young men's mentoring program based upon four principles: leadership, academics, maturity, and perseverance. The ultimate goal of the program, and we do various activities with them, but the ultimate goal is one, to provide resources that the average, minority male may not have, but then two, graduate high school and to eventually get them to go on to college and create successful careers for them and their later families.
Excellent. So, what prompted you to start the Lamplighters?
Uh, Long and short story, I participated in my high school years in a mentoring program, and the biggest thing that I got from it, and my father was in the home and he was involved with the program, was the brotherhood, and then also the relationship with men aside from my dad. I thought that was very important, and I just really engulfed and just fell into it, and I always told myself, whenever I got the opportunity, I was going to sow that same seed into other young men. So when I got into college, I kind of started the process, and we are here today.
Okay, and you are a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity
Yes,
Incorporated.
yes.
And what's the relationship between the Lamplighters and the fraternity?
So the main relationship is that when I created the program, I was in the fraternity, and at the time it was an Omega mentoring program when I was coming up. So the connection simply was that I came up in an Omega mentoring program, got to college, and when I decided to pursue a fraternity, that was what I chose, and kind of built the program around within the fraternity a little bit so that I could kind of give them some of those same experiences that I enjoyed when I was in the program.
Okay, so how do young men come to get involved with the Lamplighters?
What we do typically is we have an interest meeting, and what we do is we put the information out to the different schools,
Okay.
and at that point it was a point to where we were kind of putting it out and kind of recruiting kids, but with I guess the growth of it now, it's a good and a bad problem, but now we're at the point to where this past year we had about 60 kids show up with an interest,
Wow.
but we just don't have the resources. We have about 60 kids already, and we don't have the resources to accommodate
Right.
120 kids. So it's a good problem to have, but just getting the information out, and now they're coming to us. We get emails all the time on our website. I want to get my son involved. What do I need to do? So those are good problems to have with the growth, but it's just also a negative because you don't
Right.
want to tell anyone no.
Right. And these are young men between what ages?
12 and 18.
12 and 18. Okay. So, do the brothers of the fraternity act as mentors for these young men?
Yeah, so what we do primarily, we utilize the undergraduates a lot, mainly because they're the closest to that age. And
right.
I don't think I'm that old, but to them, they like
Probably.
calling me grandpa and dinosaur, and I get a little offended, but I'm like, I'm not that old. But to be around some of the undergraduate members who are in their late teens and early 20s, they look more to them.
Right.
So it's good to have them on board, in addition with some of us older members as well, because they kind of get both sides. Certain things they won't come to me because, oh, he's like my dad. He's like a dad figure, but he's like my older brother.
Right.
And then it all comes back to us, and we can kind of internally in the village help them become whatever they want to be or keep them from negative influences.
Interesting. That's excellent. So, are there any expectations that are set on the young men in advance? Do they know kind of either at the interest meeting or once they say, yes, this is something that I want to do, you're expected to do these things?
Yeah, they have quite a bit of expectations. One of them primarily being academically. We've had our GPA requirement is a 2.7. However, we admit young men with below that. Excuse me. But in order to participate, they have to do a few more things. So
Okay.
where the average kid may, write an essay, do an interview, and letters of recommendation, they may have a few more things they need to do just to kind of gauge that they want it.
Okay.
Primarily because a lot of times, if they don't want it, there's nothing we can do. If the parent's not going to commit to making sure they're there, and they don't have at least a little desire, getting in the program is not going to help them, because they're going to still be the same way. But if they can write an additional essay or get a teacher to, say something on their behalf, if they show that little effort, then we can see that little spark and we can take them to another level. So primarily academics is first. We make them sign a handbook where them and their parents agree. I'm going to,
So like a code of conduct?
Yeah, I'm going to commit to making sure he's there. I understand that it's my responsibility to let you know if I can't make an event, because we're trying to create young leaders at the same time. Right. So that's another one.
I'm
being
glad
timely.
You mentioned parents, because I was going to ask like what the parental involvement is. How important is that to the success of the program and to the young men? I'm glad you mentioned parents, because I was going to ask like what the parental involvement is. How important is that to the success of the program and to the young men?
It's extremely important. We've kind of taken on the African proverb that it takes a village. And when the young men see the parents are involved, they kind of get, it becomes a family. And that's one thing that we kind of really preach, the involvement of everyone. So granted, when we have our workshops, we don't necessarily have the parents there, because that's a bonding opportunity for the young men with their peers and the advisors and that such. But when we're having functions, like we did a Black History photo shoot with the parents, and they all had dashikis, and it was an awesome experience for all of us to come together and share that moment. So some of the young men whose parents may not come as much, for them that moment, they got to take family pictures some of which who never have taken them, and then they got to do it with us. So it kind of let them see that this was bigger than just...
This is the village, too.
Right. Yeah. So parent involvement is super important, because we can't do everything, and the parents, they're invested because their kids are in the program. So it's tremendous.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me about any challenges that you may be facing with the program.
I mean, well, there's several challenges. You know, we find a way to make everything work out. One of them, funding. In the dream world, if we were funded on the level that I thought we should, not that I could quit my job and full-time pop up at schools, not have to adjust my schedule.
So those are some of the things you'd like to do.
Yeah, I would. I'd love to be able to really, and I do those things, but to really like, oh no, King, he was here yesterday. He gonna probably be here Thursday. But when you don't have the fully funding resources to do those things, you can't really, do everything that you want to do with them. Sometimes. Just different personalities in different situations.
Always that with group dynamics.
A lot of times people think, they assume you get paid even though they know you don't, and they don't understand you're doing this for free, and that you're committed to this because you love it, but they kind of treat it like it's an expectation. Not that you would quit or anything because you love it, but just like attitudes from just different people. And so
let me ask you, is there a financial cost to the youth or their family to be a part of the organization?
It is, and it's a minimal fee. I mean, it's super low.
And what's minimal?
$75.
Okay, annually?
No. Just when they get inducted, and then yearly is $25, and all that does is pay for the materials we provide them.
Gotcha.
They get a blazer, shirt, and tie.
I've seen some video. They dress pretty sharp.
Yeah,
those Lamplighters.
Yeah. So that just kind of gets us in the beginning to get them the basic things, and then beyond there we fundraise, and the little funding we do get, we shake it up and spread it around.
Gotcha. So tell me about a Lamplighter success.
Well, I can kind of speak to one currently. We've got a young man by the name of Sean Holloway, who's a senior now. He got in the beginning of his freshman year, had just moved here from South Florida. Growing up, he had some issues with, where he didn't speak till he was like 3. Was assaulted by his stepfather, and just had a lot of social issues. Learning in middle school, he had quite a few issues, and he got into the program, and he's just kind of taken off. Became the freshman class president at Rickard, sophomore class president. His junior year, he became, I can't remember, but something in SGA. Through the program, he had an opportunity to speak on to the legislators. He's been on numerous interviews. I mean, he's just blossomed.
That's incredible.
3.9 GPA. I
Wow.
mean, you couldn't ask for a better young man. And a lot of it I don't do, but he credits and his mother credits to the program and giving him an opportunity to show himself and to become a great public speaker and
Okay.
representative for youth. Received a award from the mayor last year. I
Wonderful.
mean, just decorated. This
Wonderful.
decorated
Wonderful.
student.
Well, how can the community help you all?
One of the things is supporting our events. We have a fundraiser coming up at the end of March.
Okay.
Our annual banquet is May 6th, which is our largest fundraiser. This will be our 6th year having it. We've got an exciting speaker. Last year we had Titus O'Neil, who's a WWE superstar, come in town. But that's a huge opportunity where they can support us.
Okay.
And just when they see the young men, just kind of be a part of that village,
Okay.
letting them know, hey, how you doing, son? What is that program about? And letting them know, hey, I'm watching you because you represent more than just yourself. So,
Excellent.
when you see the young men in the community, kind of, making sure you hold them to the standards that we do.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. King.
Thank
Please
you.
keep up the good work.
I'll try.
All right.